to Myanmar's junta. This from an offshore gas joint venture that also supplies neighboring Thailand. Pro-democracy activists call it a first step, saying the generals who've been cracking down hard since the February 1st coup are still pocketing profits from the offshore gas field.
Accused of prioritizing profits over people by human rights activists, energy giants Total and Chevron now say they'll suspend some of their payments to Myanmar's military. Total said in a statement the decision to suspend payments was made after a meeting with shareholders of the joint venture pipeline and was taken in light of the unstable context in Myanmar. Total and Chevron, along with Thai company PTTEP, operate the Yadana pipeline, which is partly owned by Myanmar Oil and Gas Enterprises, a government-controlled entity. The pipeline supplies gas for power plants in Thailand. It also supplies Myanmar's domestic market. Total is the project's biggest shareholder with just over a 31% stake, followed by Chevron, which holds 28%. In a statement, Chevron said it condemned the human rights abuses in Myanmar and stood by its shareholders.
We also support the decision by shareholders in the pipeline company to suspend payment of the dividend to shareholders, including MOGE, which is permitted under the terms of the relevant contract.
The human rights group Justice for Myanmar welcomed the move, but said it did not go far enough.
Total and Chevron finally acknowledged that MOGE is under the control of the Myanmar military, but recent suspension of dividends to the junta represent only a fraction of the funds from the pipeline. They must stop all payments to the murderous military junta.
Last week, the US, the UK, and Canada imposed fresh sanctions on Myanmar's military junta, but so far they've not targeted the energy sector. Both Total and Chevron announced going forward they're ready to comply with any sanctions issued by the U.S. and other international authorities.
For more, let's cross to London. Kyaw Win is the founder and executive director of the Burma Human Rights Network. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you, Francois, for having me today.
Your reaction to Total and Chevron suspending cash payments to the junta?
First of all, you see that this is MGTN, just transportation of the gas. It's not actual revenue from the exploration and producing the gas, the main revenue. This is just tiny bit from the very small amount of the money income they are receiving from transporting those gas that produced from the Yadana, oil field, Yadana project. So the way it seems that we welcome, of course, the first of all, but this is very, this very little thing they have done, because you see that the military, which committed genocide against the Rohingya people in 2017, as before several years and after that genocide, still receiving millions of and billions of revenues from this project. So I think it's a very shameful for a firm like international level, the big firm like Chevron and Total, still contributing revenues to kill the people of Burma. And on the other hand, they are giving the excuse that because of the people of Burma to receive their electricity, they want to continue. But how about the killing the people with these weapons?
Okay, well, let me read you the statement from Chevron. Any actions should be carefully considered to ensure the people of Myanmar are not further disadvantaged by unintended and unpredictable consequences of well-intentioned decisions. I mean, those gas fields supply power to Thailand. They supply energy to Myanmar. If they cut the cash completely, would those power plants be shut down?
So if the question is, which is more important, the receiving power supply or buying this money, revenues, weapons, and killing the people? Which one is more important? As they're telling us that what is their priority, to supply the electricity for the well-being or to save the people's life? I mean, that's very different. Very clearly able to.
But you agree, if this results in power outages, that would also endanger people's lives.
I mean, the people die for already danger. You see how many people every day, every night, and how many children has been killed so far. As long as this military receiving those revenues, none of us is safe in Burma. Every life is in danger in Burma.
Right now, what's the next step then? What should they do? Should they, if they stop stop payments completely, stop the supply of the gas? What are you saying?
And first of all, they should suspend all the payment. None of any penny or any cent should arrive to the military bank account, including the offshore bank account that illegally they are transferring, and they have been coming out revealing so many from some hackers that has been exposed that the military, their own companies, has been receiving millions of money. If that's true, it should be very shameful, and it must be stopped immediately. And all the anything that is contributing revenues and any supply to the military must suspend immediately.
Supplying revenue to the military, besides oil and gas, what is supplying revenue to the military today?
And one of the energy sector is one of the largest contributing sector that the military have earning billions of money from that sector, and as well as also there are jades, there are timber. There are so many minerals and resources that have been, the Burmese military, generating billions of millions of money from this.
All right, I want to thank you so much.